Okay, welcome back. We're picking up where we left off in our UK campaign. Um, just at the overall status of things, we have not actually designed the Cromwell yet. I was kind of poking around at it off camera, looking at my choices. As a reminder, we're currently using the Crusader tanks. And there we go. There are our Crusaders. So we have just taken North Africa here. We're currently just filling out the tiles. But other than that, we own all of North Africa. The next logical step, because of course we are the Brits, is to invade Sicily. Now, obviously, that's going to be 2 years ahead of time. Um, but considering our timeline's rather pushed up here, it makes sense. Russia is, of course, having great difficulties. Yeah, we'll see if they can hang on or not. So one of our goals will be to invade Sicily here. It's nice and it's close. We need to get just the sea tiles. We should be able to have air superiority over it without much trouble. And we also get the benefits of having our fleet hanging off shore and providing shore bombardment. Now, the obvious downside is our terrapins are still in construction. We only have 135 of them. So we don't have any amphibious units yet. We don't even have enough terrapins, much less have any divisions. We're also running a bit low on manpower. We will probably have to go to service by requirement in a little bit, which we'll do, but we want to delay that as long as possible. Reason being, when you do switch to service by requirement, oops, ta-da, slower output, slower construction time, slightly less output. So you want to avoid that as much as possible, but we're getting to the point where we're going to have to do it. The UK manpower pool, it's not that deep, because the other thing I don't, yes, you can, hold on, where is it? There we go. You can try to use units from the Exiled Reserve, you can try to use British Raj units. I have found it to be a far bigger pain than it's worth, and sorry, let me go back and I'll show you why it's such a big pain. So we look at the colonial units. Look at the Raj. You're stuck using their own templates. So you can have, nice little basic divisions and, copy the template and try to use that in split infantry. But if you want to be changing the templates, it's just like changing a normal template. It costs you army experience to do so. So that's why I've never given much use to it, because especially on the higher difficulties, you've got to be careful with how you plan. Oh, you guys are all still have barely any fuel. That's not good. You've got to be careful with how you plan your templates, because that is the main way it's probably the main advantage you have over the AI other than microing troops. Those two things are keys. So we've got Richie's here's force. We are going to now aptly change the name to the Italian Theater. Let's just clean up the name. And we're going to design some tanks here. So that is the most important thing for us to do. Now, being mindful of our army experience, we're at 80. We gain a decent chunk every day, but we still have to design. We've got an armor division design that's not bad. It's not the greatest, but it's not bad. We still need a basic mechanized infantry design for all those half tracks. So we're going to see if we can design all the vehicles and the templates and see if we don't run out. So we're going to go for a really good tank. It's going to be expensive, but we've got plenty of tanks in reserve, so we want to go for high quality here rather than making it a cheap production. So we're going with improved medium cannon. Cromwell. Yeah, that looks like the Cromwell. Give it the best radio. Of course, this is an attacking tank, so we have stablers unlocked, so we're going to go with the stabilizer. We're going to get some extra machine guns, because, basically every tank pretty much had some extra machine guns. We looked it up previously, and they did use Christie suspensions, so we will do that to get the extra speed, make it a little bit more expensive. We're not going with riveted armor, going with welded armor. I don't know who used cast armor, if anyone. That is something I should research. My understanding is that most countries are either using like Italy and riveted, or a bunch were using welded, but I'm not going to my grave over that one. I'm just not 100% sure. So obviously we're way too slow right now. So we want to go up to at least be 8 kilometers an hour. but we also want to pump up the armor big time. So this guy's at 16.9. See what happens when we pump the armor. So if we go above that, it's going to take some extra chromium, which... Okay. What if we just max the armor? Okay. And taking a look here. Special modules. What about wet ammunition storage? So actually we end at perfectly 8 kilometers an hour. Now that's a pretty expensive medium tank at 21.4. Like I said, that's not going to scare us off. Okay, I think we like it. The Cromwell is going to be christened. Now, the obvious bad news here is that is 49 Army experience. So of the 80 we have right now, we just blew 49 of it. So, let's get some Cromwells in production. Now, the other thing we did was we set up multiple tank lines on purpose. So the main line is, of course, going to be the Cromwells. And that costs 3 chromium per. Now, luckily, we've got a good amount of chromium around here. It also costs 5 steel. So we're only going to be... And we, of course, take the big hit because we're running concentrated, which I think is kind of historically how the Brits did it. So let's see if we can make the other guns, the self-propelled, and everything else. So we take the Cromwell. And now we're going to make the... No, not the tank destroyer version. We want the self-propelled gun for sure. So we're going to do the medium fixed superstructure. And we're going to throw the howitzer in there. So there's improved medium howitzer to get that crazy soft attack up. Probably keep most other things the same. Now, is there something better other than stabilizer? Because the stabilizer, keeping a good amount of breakthrough on this is not a bad idea. Is there anything? And yes, I know you can just spam a whole bunch of machine guns on there and just boost your soft attack and defense a little bit pretty cheaply, but I find it a little cheesy to add way more machine guns than they had on the tank. So we could do ammo storage, that drops it. I think we'll be okay. We'll just keep it the same. Now, of course, this is not a medium tank design. This is an artillery design. So, this is the Avenger. Hell of a good name. Okay. There's your correct model. And let's look for the Avenger. I like how some of those tanks look the other way. Might have to pick a slightly more. You don't quite look right. Yep, I don't think I'm going to find the best one. It's saying that's my best match. That looks like an anti-aircraft gun, so we're not going with that. Go with this one, even though it kind of looks like a tank destroyer. Okay, so there's the Avenger. And let's keep going, because now we need the anti-tank version, of course. So we got the fixed superstructure. And I'm going to throw on the heavy cannon. Okay. That allows us to switch into the tank destroyer, which really has pretty bad breakthrough. So we're going to get off the stabilizer instead, because you are... It's interesting. Heavy tank guns are considered a secondary turret. Interesting. We're going to go with the squeeze bore adapter. Why? Piercing. Just get it up big time so we never have any issues with that. Probably won't, but just in case. Reliability, a little bit extra defense. The breakthrough's, of course, trashed because it's a tank destroyer. But we'll take it. And charioteer. Let's give it a good model. Oh. Don't think we have a great model to use here. No, we don't want that. I don't want that because we're going to be using those later. That might be our best. Okay. Okay. There's the charioteer for only 2 points. And then, of course, finally, we need our anti-air version. And actually, that is something I should consider. Do we actually want to provide any anti-air? Because the one obvious thing here, we are the British. We do have air superiority. We should have it in a little bit. Now, that being said, Kalos air support is very good in this game. And I think I just talked myself into probably giving myself some anti-tank guns on it. Excuse me, not anti-tank guns. Some close air support defense in the form of anti-air, self-propelled. So you know what? We will do that. I just talked myself into it. Because in this patch, AA is very good, and I don't want it just shredding my tanks. So, even though we'll be able to win control of the skies long term, we don't want to deal with it short term. Okay, so we're going to change the territory. Okay, to small armaments. Approved anti-air gun, yes. Squeeze bore, heck no. Still keeps a good amount of breakthrough. Oh, sorry. Let's change it. Yep. That's a no. So we're going to get you out of there. Jeez, hold on. Special modules. Could give him some sloped armor. Or could give him some smoke launchers. Smoke launcher's not particularly useful. And I know there's a lot of cheese you could at least do with dozer blades. Maybe you still can. I'm not interested in that. So that's why you see me staying away from the dozer blades. And you know what? We'll give you that. Hold on. That price seems too high. So let's take another quick look at it. So let's go to the Cromwell. You need the turret. Switching you to the improved anti-air gun. Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Your breakthrough's bad, so we're going to give you the sloped armor. Where's the sloped armor? It's right in front of my face. Or do we just keep the stabilizer on it? Oh, sloped armor's right there. Costs 10 design for sloped armor. Okay, no, we'll just keep you on breakthrough. Because even though you would obviously be better, I'm concerned about... Yeah, for 1 point, okay. Yeah, we'll just keep it the same for 1 point. That's worth it. And let's give you a different model for anti-air. Yep. Okay. And then there's our Crusader anti-air, because we can't come up with a better name, apparently. So you know what? We're just going to call you the Cromwell anti-air 2. Because that is the chassis you're based off of. Okay. Okay, so now we've got the extra lines that, of course, we're going to start using and producing those off of. So you're going to become the self-propelled line. You're going to become the tank destroyer line. You get to become the anti-air line. And in a day, we're going to let the trade... Actually, you know what? That's probably legit. So we're going to need to start trading big time. Okay, that should fix that. Let's get some tungsten off British Malaya. Good. And I think that the aluminum may clear up in a day. So, now we've got that. Can we duplicate and then turn you into the mechanized division easily? And I think I can because I've got 25 points still left. So, to do that, we're going to then put in self-propelled artillery, the tank, you know what, another self-propelled artillery, medium AA, a tank destroyer. So that'll be the basis of our land troops. We will want to add probably at least one, if not two more slots of mechanized infantry. Of course, you can see I am too poor to do that right now, but you are going to be the mechanized division. Okay. Okay. And instead of the Bren carrier, we can use the Avenger as our model, or the Charioteer. Let's use the Avenger as the model. Okay. So now, as you can probably tell, we're going to need an absolute boatload of these guys. So all of our new factories pour into there, and I realize we're actually going to be short, probably. Because where else can we build? We can build some in Tripoli. I mean, we're basically building anywhere and everywhere. So yeah, let's build in Tripoli. You guys are all full. Full. So the other thing is I'll probably have to steal factories from the things I really don't need. So we'll take a quick look at that. We're going to let time roll a day just to take a quick look at things. And I know I took a good chunk of time there designing, but designing is probably the most important thing you can be doing in this game. Just really stopping and considering. Why was I training with rubber with Raj instead of Malaya? Makes no sense. Okay. Okay, don't need that. Let's look at my overall factory situation. Don't need that. We got a good chunk of Bren carriers in reserve. Because what we're actually going to do is I think we're going to take not the divisions that are going to Italy. Italy is heavily mountainous. It's a complete hellscape. I mean, if you're looking at power game, you almost never invade Italy. You just invade France. Why? It's close. You've got tons of airfields. It's nice flat terrain for all your tanks to go run amok. Italy is about as good as it gets for defensive terrain. Lots of hills and then lots of mountains, especially, and rivers to have to cross. It's a complete pain in the rear. So we'll be going there for mostly RP reasons. So looking at this, I almost wonder... No, I should make some Cromwells. But yeah, just the amount of Avengers we're going to need is going to be crazy. So where can I steal factories is basically what I'm looking at right now. Got a good chunk of artillery in reserve. Got a good chunk of AA in reserve. And of course, we've got 50 planes on fighters. We're making like 17 fighters a day. Which, how many are we up to? We're up to 8.7. So we can probably back off fighters a bit, but I'm reluctant to do so for the main reason of if we have to come back here. Because the longer Germany's at war with the Soviets, their air force is probably just not going to be taking a pounding there. So we'll continue building factories for now. And we'll need a bit more air experience.
Attention! Ready, sir!
Let's get you over here. This is going to be our staging ground for Italy. And so actually, let's take you spy planes, and we will send you to Malta instead. Then you start looking over Italy. So we can start spying over Italy, see what's going on. In fact, we're going to two of our best fighters on Italy. Make sure we get air cover. So basically, we want to spy and see what the heck's going on here. Look where their troops are, so we can know where we want to naval invade. Because the other issue, too, is it's just going to take a lot of time for us to get to the Terrapin, which, of course, is our amphibious vehicle. So despite going in on the Lancaster, I've done British bombing campaigns with strap bombing. I just don't think we're going to have time this round. Okay, I took down an early Japanese submarine. Tovi's hunting more Japanese submarines. Another Japanese sub down. Let's take a look at the Japanese fleet. They've, of course, taken the Philippines and invaded India. Not done much else. They're at 279 fleet count. United States, 225. Oh, okay. Well, that means some fleet actions went down. And that's an interesting thing. Can I see fleet actions other than my own? I don't think I can. Yeah, I don't think I can. It's too bad. I would like to know what the heck that fleet action was that dented the Americans big time against the Japanese.
Yes, sir!
The other issue is our tanks are refueling here. And actually, they're good to go for another push. Air's a bit mixed.
Ready, sir!
Can we take this? We'll give it another whirl.
Ready, sir!
Learn to Jock Campbell, and let's see what happens. Because, of course, this is a supply hub. We want to retake that ASAP. Okay. Let's see if we can punch through quickly. There's a lot more divisions there than we could see. Lack of fuel starting to get us. We need to try to see if we can get to the hub before. And lack of fuel means we're going to need to call off the attack in like 2 seconds. Well, can we force it through?
Keep your distance!
No, we can't. Okay. Okay, I think we're wildly out of slots here. So actually, one of the things I should not have done was given away territory here to the Americans. Of course, very historical, that's why I took that event, but not useful to us. I could build out here in these islands that I may lose. I'm probably not going to do that. So instead, we're going to make it rain in India. It's probably the most useful thing I can do. Took down another 5 German destroyers. Checking the German fleet count, 62. Okay. Italian fleet count, still like 12. And that's another big reason we can go after Italy. They just cannot contend with us on the seas. So looking at the Italian army count, though. About 750,000 guys, of course. Let's see how many casualties we've inflicted on the Italians here. Looking. Yeah, so about 500,000 from us alone, which is pretty good. Soviets are actually inflicting a good number of casualties on the Germans. The problem is I just don't think the Soviets can have anything to help push back. So, by opening up this Italian theater. Hopefully that helps.
Attention!
Things we need to do.
Ready,
Oh yeah, you
sir.
need to get your butt where you're not attritioning. How about that?
Ready to move!
You too. Um,
Move out!
there. Now, in the meantime, applying the naval assault. As I've mentioned, we do not have...
Ready to move!
We're a little short on supply. Interesting. We need to plan the naval invasions here. Now, I'm assuming all their ports are going to be covered. Oh, that's another thing, too. Do we have any mulberry harbors? Brand new in the game, floating harbors. Historically, were called mulberry harbors, used at D-Day. We want to make... Shoot, I don't know. So as soon as one of those destroyers finishes, it'll go up to the Mulberry Harbor, and we can get those producing. It allows you to basically have a little naval supply source close to you. And of course, we can be flying in supplies, too, from Malta. Now, looking at our invasion choices, we of course want to hit in multiple places. No, we don't have actual Marines, which is a problem. So we want to hit Palermo. I guess we'll hit right next to Palermo for that group.
All in!
Get the other group. Will also come from here. And hit in the open ground there. So basically, I'm hoping by doing this, we can land somewhere where they are not, because they hopefully do not have every tile covered. And by doing that, we can pin down enough units. And then our supply is going to be coming in from an air bridge. Which, of course, is very risky, but we're going to go for it. And when I say an air bridge, I just mean transport planes flying in supplies. That's all that term means. Keep adding destroyers. You guys need to keep training. Oh, you guys can go help. So yeah, the German U-boat campaign's just been doing like nothing to us, which is fantastic, of course. Get those 3 sets. Training. Actually, you're free. You're free. You guys are just hanging around here. So we'll ship you to India. Have any other fighters hanging around doing nothing? Oh, hell yes, I do. Okay, same thing. Try to get some air superiority back over there. And you know what? I'll do the extra efficiency to help out. I don't see any...
Guns!
Nope. You go back to your leader.
Guns! Guns!
So we'll see. Singapore is not overly stocked up with troops, but it'll hopefully be okay. And instead of war bonds, because we're already producing so much stuff we don't need, we probably just want to go ahead and...
Ready, sir!
Yeah, we're not going to have the tanks invade in the first round. So let's see how long this will take. Takes 17 days. That's actually not bad at all. Now we'll need to have naval supremacy in the Turanian Sea, which we will, of course, do. And then we're also, I realize, going to need 2 different little bombardment fleets. So we're going to create another small bombardment fleet out of here. So we'll take the... this is a French fleet. So we'll take the Corvair. Yeah, you're a battleship. Basically, you need just a battleship, and then, you know, give it a few destroyers in case it gets attacked or something. But if you Go there. Okay, you need to train, get to max. And any other fighter wings? No. Okay. And that is a horrifying sound. Check Borneo. Aha, they're attacking in Borneo. There are no airfields on Borneo. That's not good. We've got destroyers hunting our submarines. So we'll see what happens on Borneo. Bismarck might have some issues. Java Sea may have some issues. So of course the basic game plan is to get the... we're doing Germany first strategy just like was historically. So we're trying to make sure things are fine over here. They did make landfall, though. Well, there's not many of them. Okay. And now we counterattack. And then hopefully win and come back. So, pop that one helmet. Don't think our division's going to be successful, because it's not. So we're going to call off the attack here. And we'll do a battle plan on that slot. Although, got a second division coming ashore. Take a look here. We lost a submarine for a Japanese convoy. Aha, the Japanese fleet has shown up. Well, we've got our bombers going. Of course, our fleet is hunting a bunch of Japanese destroyers instead of getting involved in the bigger fight. We lost 5 naval bombers. We hit a good number of Japanese carrier planes, though. There's, I guess they're equivalent to Kido Butai here. We've got 3 carriers together. 3 Ryujo, a Kaga, and a Kagi. Then 2 battle cruisers. So, okay. Okay. So in that fight, we took down 5 destroyers. Cost us a little bit of aircraft, though. It's a good outcome. Taking a look here. Lost our submarine. Going after a Nazi convoy. Okay, the Americans are helping out in Bay of Biscay. It's good news. Let's check our planning.
Attention!
Okay, looks like Richie will still be our man.
Commands!
At least we'll still have control of the tanks. And nearly there. We're going to include the Turanian Sea also. Okay. So things are looking okay there. Lost 2 swordfish. Did get a chunk of damage to the Akagi, though. The Japanese carrier fleet's coming to dunk all my convoys and submarines. So you know what? We're having the Indian fleet come help. So you get to go on convoy raiding. Of course, you guys get to go on the attack with Fraser. Because we've got a lot of trade coming out of here, so the more they smack our trade around, that'll be an issue. Okay. We're doing some damage, mostly to their small screens.
Attention! Go, go, go!
Okay. So, once again, we'll let them run out of steam, and we'll counterattack.
Move out!
Ta-da! So we'll come around. And here's the fight we're waiting for. We'll turn down the speed and watch this one. So we've got our British fleet coming in to save some American convoys. We've got one Japanese sub down, but I think we're going to have the Japanese main fleet reinforcing. Is why I'm drawn to this one. So we've got Tovi here. Oh, Japanese fleet has shown up, but they're running immediately, so that's good. We only have the Ark Royal there for carrier support. Then we got 3 battleships. Taking a little bit of damage. But you know what? I think you're good there. They can hang out there. We'll let those troops handle them. So we've lost a British destroyer. It's not turning into the glorious fight we were hoping for. I got 2 destroyers down. Very inconclusive engagement, though. Lost 5 convoys, lost some convoys. Okay, we've won the... Oh, of course I say that at the last second. The Shoho's down, courtesy of the HMS York, which is one of our heavy cruisers. We lost a good chunk of planes in the fight, though. They lost some planes. Biggest thing is taking down the carrier. So, we definitely came out ahead. The Japanese fleet there still has 3 carriers. We still have our 1 carrier in this fleet. So, we've got ships attaching and going to repair. Yep, I think actually everyone's moving to repair there. In fact, you guys should go repair too. And we'll let Fraser and his Indian command take over and see what they can do for now. Okay. American convoys down. Because they're trying to catch some of our ships that are moving to repair. Okay, Bristol Beaufort is done. You are the tactical bomber. You can be the tactical bomber we dump a bunch of points in and stick with. That is a good question. There we go. You know what? We'll be sticking with the Beaufort for a while. So yeah, we're gonna pimp them out, as the kids say. So, one of the best things you can probably do with these guys is just have exceptional range. For each point of range, we're getting an extra 250. Which is fantastic, because when you're dealing with big theaters like the Pacific, that really matters. That would be 440. Okay, 64% on the reliability. 72% reliability is pretty good. Yeah, 0.2 ground attack. That really doesn't make a difference. Okay, so we'll get the Beaufort into production. Sorry, no more Wellingtons. We're going to take the hit. We'll need the extra aluminum. Excuse me, we're British. It's aluminium. And what are our choices here? Well, that can't hurt. Researching a little faster. So we'll do that in case the war goes deep. And we're ready to actually begin the invasion. Although, they're shuffling troops around. So we should let them sit and see where they shuffle the troops to before we invade. Other things we should make sure we get. Lots of close air support and our bombers over there. And naval squadron, you're going to the Pacific. Go help out the defense of Singapore. Took down to sub. That's nice. Major fights going on around Singapore in the seas there. Anything else we can ship out? Oh, 3 fighter wings. Not sure we'll need them. We'll send them to Tripoli for now in case we need extra air cover. That can't hurt. Of course, we have a lot of fighter wings around England we don't need right now either. Ah, here we go. Another close air support. You're still training. You guys need to start training. And... yep, raise some more fighters. Any other ones we need to start on? Nope. Okay. So we're planning this, but we'll see when kind of the optimal time to go is. Because the other issue is if they can test the sea, I'm not sure we can actually land because we're going to be taking some serious malices there. So actually, instead of designing the mechanized division right now, we probably should have designed the Terrapin division, now that I think on it. So let's see what it would cost to get those. Yeah. So that would be part of the issue. We're actually going to go ahead and clip the episode here, and I'll see you next time.